It's a Throwback Thursday, so we're celebrating a guy we sort of grew up with, really. He's been famous since the early 80s. Alfonso Ribeiro. Hey, for all we know, he might be listening. Cool dude. We've met him a few times. He's 52 on this day. And as part of Old School and 50 Hits, we start thinking about these ancillary characters on TV and on your favorite sporting teams that stepped up and became the star. Because if you look back, yeah, Will Smith became a big Hollywood star. But The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air would not have been what it was if it wasn't for the comedic antics and the dancing skills of an Alfonso Ribeiro of Carlton.
Yeah, I gave 2 examples before. How I Met Your Mother. If not for the womanizing Barney Stinson.
He wasn't supposed to be the main character, right?
He was legend. Wait for it. Legendary. And if you go back to the 90s and late 80s, Urkel was just a doofy neighbor. Ends up being the star of Family Matters. So as we go old school, sports, entertainment, the ancillary characters, the unintended stars, fan favorites. I'll give you one from, well, I live in L.A. now, but my old hometown in the 80s as a kid. It was all about, Donnie Baseball and Keith Hernandez and Darryl Strawberry, Dr. K, Ron Guidry in the early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
The fan favorite? Mookie Wilson was never an all-star, was never really a star player, but was there a more popular dude with the fans than Mookie Wilson?
I mean, he had the big 86 hit.
Even before
which was
that,
really an error.
He was a fan. Favorite.
But that also
put him over the top.
On the top right there. Was never meant to be the hero, but became a hero, became the star. So the ancillary character or athlete that became the star. We want your phone calls now at 877-99 on Fox. And, of course, chime in on social media at Covino and Rich. Now, I don't want to give away the number one answer on the board, but I have to.
Yeah.
The number one prime example, Rich said, was Steve Urkel. But even before that, the number one answer ever of all time. Steve Harvey says so. Richard Dawson says so. If you asked 100 people on the street, who's the number one answer on the board?
Ray Combs, too?
Yes, and Richard Karn. They'd all tell you.
Too soon.
They'd all tell you the number one answer on the board is Henry Winkler, a.k.a. Arthur Fonzarelli, who was never supposed to be anything more than the town mechanic and became the guy who's on the cover of TV Guide, became the biggest star of the show Happy Days, and then became our Uncle Henry.
Our pal.
Our first ever broadcast in Los Angeles as a show was at his house. True story. Sounds very random, but he's that much of a courteous gentleman.
The same way you saw the interaction with Henry Winkler and Patrick Mahomes, where he said, "You always have a place at my table. Patrick, anytime you and Brittany, I would love to have you over. I'll make some chicken." The way you see Henry Winkler, he is that guy. He was on our show in New York, and he goes, "You guys are moving to L.A. I want your first show to be at my house." And Spot followed up, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm for real."
Yeah, true story.
We hung at the Fonz's house.
And he was supposed to be the dude in the mechanic outfit, just that zip-up mechanic outfit, put on that leather jacket. The rest is history. He became the guy. He's in the Smithsonian.
That is true, and there is an entire wording, "Jump the Shark."
Oh, yeah.
For that character of Arthur Fonzarelli.
Yeah.
And that's something we use all the time. Oh, they jumped the shark. It's an iconic, unbelievably iconic. It's even more than just...
Created by John Hine from the Howard Stern Show.
Yeah.
John Hine.
Unbelievable.
JumpTheShark.com.
Based on the episode where Fonzie literally, water skis and jumps a shark.
Over a shark.
And based on that, based on Fonzie, based on Urkel, based on the birthday boy.
Mookie Wilson. Was also in this cup.
Alfonso Ribeiro, Carlton. Who are these ancillary characters that became the star? I got one in sports, Rich. I got one that no one's going to say, because to me there's obvious ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about this one? Jose Vizcaino. Remember him? He was a former Met, wasn't he?
He was.
Jose Vizcaino. I looked him up. He's 55 now, man. That's how time's flying. Dude's 55, and he batted .270 with 36 home runs. So he had a nice little career, but he also won the World Series in 2000 with the Yankees. But the dude was hitting game-off, walk-off, wins in hits in the World Series for the Yankees. So as a Yankees fan, no one expected Jose Vizcaino to step up. When that team was loaded with superstars, you don't expect Jose Vizcaino to step up as a utility guy and drive in the winning runs for the game. In a World Series moment.
I
so
think
you're like,
that,
wow, man,
I
that's
think
awesome.
that is
Well, no one's going to say
a
that.
terrible answer. I don't think one other person other than you would have thought of Jose Vizcaino.
That's my point. Do you want me to see David Tyree, or should I let someone else say it?
David
You know what I
Tyree
mean?
is a good answer.
Okay. So it's an unexpected hero, you bozo. How's that a bad answer? No one expects that guy to be the hero. How's that a bad answer?
Because
That's the whole point. That's a great answer.
Oh, if it's
It's the opposite. It's a great answer.
if it's the random ass
No one expected him to be the hero. When you got a squad of Bernie Williams and Derek Jeters and Paul O'Neills and Tino Martinez's, who expects Jose Vizcaino to hit in the game-winning runs in a World Series?
Oh, could I get that Vizcaino jersey? Said no one ever.
That's the point, you dunce.
No, I'm talking
What
about
a
a fan
dummy.
favorite that people love.
He was an unexpected hero where no one expects it. David Tyree. No one
If
expected
Jose-
that guy to have
if-
that moment.
if
He becomes the
Jose
star.
Vizcaino hit a walk-off home run in the World Series and the Yankees won. Now you have a story.
Just because they beat your stupid team doesn't mean it didn't happen. And that's exactly what happened. And that's why Rich is being a little baby, crybaby sports baby right now.
I don't think anyone agrees with you. You know who?
Hold on. Did anyone expect Henry Winkler the Fonz to be the star? No. Just like no one expected Vizcaino to be the star of that World Series. That's the point.
Was he the MVP of the World
Louis
Series?
Soho was a big-time star in those moments.
Was he the MVP of that
Did he
World
have
Series?
to be the MVP?
Well, that would be
No.
consistent.
No, it wouldn't, because do you know how many people hit walk-off wins in the World Series? It was a walk-off win.
You aggravate me so much. I'm going to start doing the show standing up like I'm
I
Pat
aggravate
McAfee.
you because I'm right and you're a dunce.
Start
That's why.
pacing and standing like a
So,
McAfee.
old school and 50 hits. Do you want to talk? Hey, do you want to talk about the Austin Reeves of the world, or should I
Yes.
leave it to
Yeah.
other people? How about we go to the phones? I don't want to give away all the good answers.
Are you going to leave the
877.
good answers for Rob in Texas? Hey, Rob.
Hey, Rob, what's up?
What's up, buddy?
Great
Yo.
fan of the show. Love you guys.
What's up, man?
I got to go with Matthew McConaughey, Wooderson, and Days of Confused. Wasn't supposed to be a main character, and he just took over the show.
It's that one creepy line, man.
Yeah, the one creepy line that creepy dudes repeat all the time.
Yeah, that you still hear till this day, and people recite that line as if it's the first time you've ever heard it before.
What is it? How does it go exactly?
I'm not one of those creepy guys.
I know. How is it like?
I typed it into the Google machine right now.
Yeah.
What is it? It's like
That's what I
gay-
love about these high school girls. I keep getting older, but they stay the same age.
That was it.
Creep alert!
And McConaughey becomes a big
All right,
star.
all right.
You know what? That's a really great
That is
answer.
a great answer. He was not intended to be, the star of that movie, and he was.
He becomes a big star as a result because he has that line, and the rest is history. I like that.
If you want
answer.
to go West Coast, would it be fair to say Danny G. Ramos, a guy like Kike Hernandez?
Worst answer
Yeah,
ever.
No.
People know who he is.
When I thought of the Dodgers, he's a player that came to mind. When I
Fan
think
favorite.
of the Raiders and now the Giants, you're going to see him tonight if he's healthy enough to be on the field. Darren Waller.
Yeah.
Talk about coming out of nowhere. He was on the Ravens practice squad. He had all those alcohol and drug issues, and then all of a sudden was one of the best tight ends in the world.
It's a great answer. Not as good as Jose Vizcaino, though.
And if you want to go TV shows, I was thinking about Erica from Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too.
Yeah, Lucas's little sister. Fan favorite.
How about, it's too early, and as you like to say, Danny G, prisoner of the moment. But how about Rams receiver Puka? How do you say his last name?
Puka Kapua.
But if he keeps playing this way, wow, no one expected that. He could be a star on that team.
Yeah.
When I think of the Yankees, what you brought up, I thought of Bucky Dent. I thought Bucky Dent was a
Damn.
guy who he hit that home run against the Red Sox in '78, one-game playoff, and he was actually a good player that played for many years with the Yankees and was a fan favorite
But he
as
didn't
well.
hit bombs, and that's what was the big surprise there. And he has a nickname in Boston till this day, Bucky effing Dent. So
Puka
yeah, that's another one.
Puka Nakua, by the way.
Puka
Puka
Nakua.
Nakua. For all we know.
Puka Nakua.
All right, thank you for
Gotta
your
remember
feedback.
that.
I'm a Rams fan. I still can't say it.
Forever.
Exactly.
And Covino, back me up on this. We'll go back to Carlton on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I thought, until she got replaced, the OG Aunt Viv kind of stole the show with all her one-liners.
Yeah.
She was great.
She was so good, and I think that's why it was so hard to look past her being replaced as if we were all dumb and we didn't notice.
Never forget that dance, too. Remember when she danced in
Yes.
the dance studio, the audition?
I'm going to tell you a quick story before we go to the phone calls, too, again. 877-99 on Fox. There was a legendary, in my world and in my life, legendary moment on the Arsenio Hall show where Arsenio Hall, again, he welcomed a lot of hip-hop artists. Again, innovative guy, groundbreaker. And I was staying up late as a kid. And he welcomed a Tribe Called Quest with leaders of the new school, and they did Scenario.
Yeah.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. And
First time the world saw Busta Rhymes.
and guess who became the big star right after that? He said later, leaders of the new school, Busta Rhymes became a household name. That was never really meant to be the case. He was performing with Tribe. Busta Rhymes shot off like a cannon after that. So wasn't expected to be the star, but then became the star.
Ooh. I mean, in sports, I mean, there's obvious ones. Let's go with like a Malcolm Butler, right? You're at the goal line. You're about to lose the Super Bowl. Marshawn Lynch, beast mode, and then out of nowhere, they change a play at the line of scrimmage. You intercept the ball in the end zone, and you win a Super Bowl pretty much for the New England Patriots. Malcolm Butler.
That was an amazing moment.
I feel
I
as
mean, the
though-
whole world's jaw dropped when that
Man,
happened.
there's an answer, Covino, that it's escaping me. I know I like more cheesy stuff than you as far as TV, but why do I feel like one of the American Idol people, their story is like, I just came along with my friend, and they auditioned because they just came along with their friend.
You know whose story that is? I don't know the idol you speak of, but Ki Hui Kwan, who became short round in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and later
An Academy Award winner? Yeah.
He just showed up at the audition with his brother. Now, like, who's that kid?
Yeah, we like your brother.
He's short and round.
Yeah, we like this kid over there, who's this little kid with the hat on. Yeah, we
What
like
about
him.
Q Hee Kwan? No. Ki Hee Kwan.
We want him. So again, I don't want to give away all the good answers because I have more, but I want to go to the phones.
All right.
Leave it to you. Based on Alfonso Ribeiro's birthday, Carlton became a star. Wasn't expected to be the star. Who are those ancillary characters in entertainment and sports?
I'm thinking. We've been talking the last day or so a lot for some reason. I wore a Goonie shirt the other day. Do you think Chunk got a lot of shine?
No.
No, he deserved more.
You're going to make fun of me for saying Jose Vizcaino.
Well, Jose
He said
Vizcaino.
Chunk.
I mean, let's talk.
Okay, I got
Let's talk-
one.
let's talk
How
about it.
could you be a
Let's talk about-
49ers fan?
Let's talk about Jose Vizcaino one more
How
time.
could you be a 49ers fan right when they're getting ready to play tonight against the Giants and not think Brock Purdy? I mean, I waited for you to say it.
He's a star quarterback
No
now.
one, dude, he's Mr. Irrelevant. You're going to tell me that's a bad answer? Nobody expected that guy to be a star. That might be the number 2 answer on the board if he continues playing that way. He will be the Fonzie of this conversation in sports if he continues to play the way he plays.
everyone thought it was Trey
Yes.
Lance or Jimmy G, and then in comes Brock Purdy.
Yes, he becomes the star. Who the hell thought that? Nobody.
I mean, he's no Jose Vizcaino. Though.
I
So
mean,
I'm gonna
hey,
say-
like I
who
said,
is,
I had
though?
a
Who
bunch
is?
of ones to go.
Oh, you know
through.
what? All the phones are working out. You know, Danny, I'm sorry. I wasn't getting the names. Now all of a sudden there's 20 names in front of me. Dave in Charlotte. What's going on, man?
How are you guys doing?
What's
so
up?
in sports, I think of Dan Campbell with the Lions, the head coach. And then for TV entertainment, I think of Jim and Pam from The Office, because that TV show really was based upon
Michael Scott.
Michael Scott.
Yeah, you know what? That
and
is
his
a, you know
wife.
what? Jim and Pam became like America's favorite couple, and they were, just office members of the show, right? I mean, their romance took on a life of its own. A lot of people that watch women like, oh, Jim and Pam. It was about Michael Scott. It just everyone was like, oh, Krasinski with Spot. What's her name? Pam.
Oh, what is her name?
Put you on the spot.
I know. Why?
Jim in West Texas.
Spot's not your memory.
What was it? Jenna Fisher? Yeah, Jenna Fisher.
Yeah, you know why? For some reason, I was thinking Isla Fisher.
That's,
they look
that's,
alike.
that's
Right,
Borat's
that's
wife.
Anyway, let's go to the
that's
phones
Borat's
again.
wife.
Covino and Rich throwing it back on a Thursday. Those ancillary superstars in sports and
Yeah, I'm
entertainment.
not your memory.
Hey, Jim. What's up, Jim in
What
West
up,
Texas?
Jim?
Hey guys, how's it going? I always enjoy your show. It's first thing on whenever I get off work, and it just lifts my day.
Thank you, bro. Means a lot. Thank you.
Wow.
What's up, Jim?
Wow.
All righty. For sports, I'm thinking Sid Bream. Chugging home from second, crossing home, slowest guy in the world to beat the Pirates and go on to the World Series.
Sid
For
Bream,
the Braves.
Sid Bream
Rich
had,
thinks that's a terrible answer.
Sid Bream had a great. He had a great mustache.
No, that's great, man. I appreciate that. That's a great answer.
You know, if you want to talk about unsung heroes, or the ancillary characters that get to shine, it's really like the fan favorite who wasn't necessarily the greatest, but for some reason people like them. Why does Fonzie or Urkel become popular? Because
they weren't expected to be the hero.
You write a show, and you're like, oh yeah, the neighbor, the mechanic. No, the world just loves Fonzie. We made this show about a black family in Chicago. Yeah, but the neighbor, what's his name? No, Urkel, he's just a neighbor. No, that's the star.
That's the guy.
That's the point. Like who? And when you think about it, Bartolo Colon has to be brought up because he's been on pitching staffs where he's a middle of the rotation guy. But he is loved. Bartolo Colon.
The only difference that separates Bartolo Colon from this conversation is he was really good. He just became a caricature of himself as he got older. But he was a young stud early on.
Young stud with Cleveland.
So he had a lot of potential.
All right, let's go to Mark in Missouri. What's up, Mark? Covino and Rich.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
What's up, brother?
Similar to Brock Purdy, only much better. How about Kurt Warner going from working in a grocery store to starting for the Rams?
It's a wonderful story, man. I watched that. It was Zachary Levi. I watched that the Underdog movie. I watched it on a flight.
By the way, Len in Idaho hit me up with the same thing. So, yeah, what an incredible story that is.
Yo,
no one
up,
expected
Len?
that. I mean, he wouldn't have expected that. So, I mean, that has to be in the conversation.
Because it almost sounds fake, right? Danny, when you hear those stories where it's like, and Kurt Warner was stocking grocery shelves. And then if you do watch the movie, I know it's based on a true story. It's not everything to the T. But he was, helping raise his wife's kids that she previously had. And he was taking odd jobs and doing like arena league stuff. Like it was the fact that Kurt Warner got to the NFL and won a Super Bowl is miraculous.
Don't forget how old he was. Like, he had everything going against him.
Perseverance. You ain't kidding, Ramos. Nick in Florida. What's up, Nick?
Hey, Nick.
Hello?
Yo,
What up, buddy?
Hey, the guy I'm going to mention, definitely Jeremy Lin. He went from sleeping on his friend's couch to taking over the city of New York and the NBA.
Dude, I love that answer, too. I really
Great
do.
answer.
I wish he had more. Well, I can't say he didn't have longevity. Dude won a ring.
He was like a bench player. He was a bench player, didn't really get in, but he did win a ring with what? The Raptors, right?
Raptors. I had that on my list because that captured our attention even out here on the West Coast.
Dude, those 2 weeks were
I was going to say,
magical.
it was like a week and a half, wasn't it?
No, it was the most magical 2 weeks ever.
It was a couple of months of just insane.
He was battling against Kobe, man.
Yeah.
No, honestly, Linsanity we were living in New York at the time. It was wild.
It was real.
You would hear people like rumbling on the street, like, "Oh, Jeremy Lin."
It was real.
Have you guys watched the documentary?
Yeah,
that they made? Really good.
Yeah, so great. Linsanity was real. That's a great answer. It just was so short-lived, but it was great.
Let's go to James. Wrap it up in Virginia, and then we'll move along. What's up, James?
Oh, thank you for taking my call, gentlemen. Happy Thursday.
Hey, happy Thursday, man.
Up?
Hey, on the birthday of Carlton, Alfonso Ribeiro, we're talking about the ancillary characters and athletes that really made a difference. Like, they made the show or the team.
I got three for you, man, and I'm going to finish with my favorite. But I'm going to throw out Justice League. Flash, man, stole the movie in Justice League.
Okay.
Paul Pot, British Idol. Check out his performance for his intro. Just blows it away, and you would never expect it. And then finally, Doug Williams, man, Super Bowl, gets hurt, comes back, 4 touchdowns.
Doug Williams. People don't give him enough credit. Wasn't he the first African American quarterback to win a
Sure
Super Bowl?
was, yeah.
Sure was, and he doesn't get it. He doesn't get.
That's the beauty of these conversations.
You would think Doug Williams. I know he didn't have he got a nice. He played after that. He got a nice deal, but you look at Doug Williams and you say, in a world where we love to give props to the people that were the first to do it, I don't think Doug Williams gets enough props to be the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
No, and I'm glad to give it here on the show. Yeah. And you know what? We said Austin Reeves, and that sort of just came and went. I think that's a top 5 answer right now. Nobody expected that dude to play the way he's playing. Nobody.
No how.